Hello everyone. We've already discussed that what are and what is the importance of representations and warranties in an earlier video. So now let's deep dive into the concept with a real life case study of the company Ranbaxy. Just as a recap, representations are statements of fact made by one party in a contract to another. For example, our financial statements are accurate, or we are not involved in any major litigation, and so on. Warranties are similar promises that those facts are true, and if they aren't, the other side can claim damages or indemnity. Okay, so now we are using the 2008 case of Ranbaxy Laboratories, which was being acquired by Japan's Daiichi Sankyo, a deal that turned into a cautionary tale for other investors as well. Back in 2008, Daiichi decided to acquire a majority stake in Ranbaxy, but there was a critical element involved. At that time, Ranbaxy was under investigation by the US Food and Drug Administration, or US FDA, and the Department of Justice, or the DOJ. So the US FDA, as you will realize when you start practicing, is a really important regulator for pharma companies all across the globe, and specifically to India more so because we produce generic medicines. So basically the innovation and the first time drugs, they are manufactured in the US, and then once the patent over these drugs is over, the Indian companies start manufacturing those drugs at a cheaper cost. Those medicines are called generic medicines and they are exported to countries like the US. So getting the US FDA approval makes our medicines acceptable across many different countries because the standards of the US FDA are considered to be really high. Now Ranbaxy represented that these investigations by the US FDA were routine regulatory matters, nothing unusual, nothing alarming. It is because typically the US FDA sends teams for inspection as surprise inspections to see if the quality of the medicine or drug is being maintained or not, if the facility in which the drugs are being produced, they are well maintained or not, etc. So based on these assurances given by Ranbaxy, Daiichi went ahead with the acquisition. But after the acquisition, it turned out that the situation was far from routine.
So these two inspectors had come to work to inspect the process. So they had gone to this lab that Ranbaxy was using at that point called Vimta Laboratories. It was based in Hyderabad at that point in time. And what they found was that while the Ranbaxy had submitted data saying that we have tested it on 95 patients, they actually were only 2 patients. They copied and pasted all that data of 2 patients over and over again to say that, hey, look, we have tested it on this cohort of 95 patients.
Daiichi discovered that Ranbaxy had concealed key information, including a document known as the self-assessment report about the severity of the pending investigations against them by the US FDA. This meant that Ranbaxy had not only misrepresented the investigations, they had actually breached their contract's warranties. Now Daiichi Sankyo took the matter to arbitration and obviously they won. The tribunal awarded damages to Daiichi, a massive sum showing just how costly breaches of representations and warranties can be. Thereafter also, the Ranbaxy case evolved into something really gigantic because the promoters went on to found Religare and Fortis Healthcare, where also there were major corporate governance issues which you must definitely look at to understand why as investors people look for trustworthy promoters and why the Tata Group is so well regarded with regard to this particular variable. So now the Ranbaxy-Daiichi case gives us 2 big takeaways. Number 1, thorough due diligence is essential. The caveat emptor saying couldn't be more true, that the buyers must dig deep and not rely solely on the seller's statements. And number 2, strong representations and warranties clauses matter a lot because well drafted clauses help minimize the risk and provide adequate remedies if things go wrong. So The next time you are looking at an M&A transaction or are working on a deal, remember the Ranbaxy case. It is not just about the purchase price that the acquirer is giving, it is about making sure that what you are buying is exactly what you were promised. Especially making sure that things which can negatively affect a company are thoroughly checked. In the pharma industry's case, they can be US FDA investigations or inspections. In other sectors, there can be other key risks which can vary. If you found this video useful, hit the like button, subscribe for more real world case studies, and let me know in the comments if you want a deep dive into the Ranbaxy case. We will surely try to cover it.